Welcome back for another Deep Dive AV World podcast. This time, we're going to be checking out the work of Sheila Haycox, mixed media artist. I mean, she takes these really everyday things, family photos, with these amazing stories that she comes up with.
And what I find so fascinating about what she does is that she takes these things that we've maybe forgotten about, historical events, and transforms them into something that's just absolutely mind-blowing.
It's really cool. And one of the things that just immediately grabbed me about her work is how she uses real people as characters.
Right.
She finds them in her own family albums.
Oh.
Or sometimes, those old vintage photos of people you've never met before.
It's such an interesting approach. And apparently, her family's totally on board with this. They've kind of gotten used to the idea that they might just end up as the hero or, maybe the villain in one of her pieces.
That is so funny. Can you imagine the dinner table conversations?
Oh, yeah.
Mom, not the villain again. But all kidding aside, speaking of family, she did this project called My Return to Paris. And it's really personal. It's all about revisiting these places that she shared with her late husband.
Yeah. You can really feel the emotion. I mean, the sense of loss, the longing.
Unlock this secret door to a whole new creative world.
Exactly.
And this is where things get really interesting, because from there, she takes those raw emotions, those real places.
Right.
And she uses them as a jumping off point to create completely new stories.
Yeah, and it's almost like she's asking herself, what if? What if this happened instead?
Right.
What kind of story could I create around these real life elements?
Totally. So let's dive into some specific examples here, because I think that'll really bring this to life. One that caught my eye right away is called The Quest.
Oh, yeah.
It's about this woman, Aunt Lucy, who goes to Venice.
Okay.
And she meets this gondolier, Giuseppe. And at first you think it's just, kind of a sweet little story about this chance meeting, but then, boom, plot twist. Aunt Lucy actually ended up marrying this guy.
Oh, wow, I didn't realize that.
It completely changes how you see the whole story. It's like all of a sudden you're questioning everything you thought you knew. And that's what's so brilliant about the way she does this. She keeps you guessing.
Yeah.
You're never quite sure where the line between truth and fiction,
Right.
starts to blur.
Yeah.
All right, here's another one. They stole a mountain. So this one, she was actually inspired by a monument at a slate quarry.
Oh, wow.
And somehow from there, she spins this whole tale about this family mystery.
Oh, cool.
It's hidden within this cross stitch.
It's incredible how she can take something that's so real and tangible.
Yeah.
And use it as a way to unravel this fictional narrative, this whole made-up world. The cross-stitch itself is made by this, imaginary mother, and it holds the key to her daughter's, true identity.
That's a theme that pops up again and again in her work. The Sixpenny Warrant is a perfect example.
I was just thinking about that one.
It's all based on real historical events and figures,
Mm-hmm.
It's about this woman, Bessie Hunt. She ran a refreshment tent on the beach in Exmouth.
Oh, wow.
And she ends up in this whole legal battle with the council. But she wins her case.
Oh, good for her.
And she kept the sixpenny rail warrant that allowed her to return home after being released from prison.
Wow. There's a story here.
Right.
Just waiting to be told. And the way she weaves in all the specifics, Bessie's famous tea jug.
Oh, yeah.
Or even her family home, and then she brings in her own daughter, Monica, as a character running a cafe.
I love that. It's she's taking history off the shelf and breathing new life into it. It's still history, but with a dash of, what if?
Yeah.
Okay, and then she even creates these completely fictional characters.
Yeah.
Like in Uncle Fred.
Right.
But even then, she roots them in these real locations, like the Monsell Trail in Derbyshire.
Oh, yeah, that's a beautiful area.
It's this old railway line with these amazing tunnels, and it becomes the backdrop for Uncle Fred's whole adventure.
It's like she can find inspiration everywhere.
She uses a photo of some random steam train driver
Yeah.
to represent Uncle Fred.
She sees the stories hidden in everything in the most unexpected places.
Right, absolutely. All right, so speaking of finding those hidden stories, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about recognition.
Okay.
This one, it's got a much more serious tone. It focuses on the Arctic convoy veterans.
Oh, wow.
And that incredible Murmansk run, which was so dangerous.
Yeah.
So in this piece, we hear from Sheila's imaginary father.
Okay.
who's telling the story of his own imaginary father,
Got it.
a veteran of the Arctic convoys. And, hundreds of sailors perished in the Murmansk Run, and their bravery went largely unnoticed.
That's terrible.
Decades.
Yeah.
But 70 years later, Sheila's imaginary father gets the Russian Ushakov Medal
Wow.
on behalf of his father.
It's like a reminder that history, it's not just dates and names. It's real people, real lives, real sacrifices. And those stories deserve to be remembered.
Absolutely.
Well, this has been such a fascinating deep dive.
It really has.
Sheila Haycox's work is truly inspiring.
I agree.
And to our listeners out there, thank you for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed exploring her world with us. Remember, everyone, you have the power to create something extraordinary. Keep exploring, keep questioning, keep telling your stories.
That's right.
We'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.